This is your captain speaking. Remember to like and subscribe and watch the full video. Today we're flying from San Diego to Los Angeles in California. So we're in a CRJ 700, as you can tell by the photo, or if you didn't know. And we're going to do the CWAR 2 departure, CLB transition. I already got it programmed into maps. And I'm just going to set it all up in the cockpit. So, yeah, this doesn't have an FMS, but I have a GPS which I can use. So, yeah. So, since we're ready for flight and I got all the autopilot stuff programmed, I'm ready for push and start. So I'm gonna call the pushback truck, which is like right in front of us. Yeah, as you can see it's coming. I'm gonna release the brakes and I'm gonna hit Control E or whatever button you would use in FSX or what flight sim you're using to start the engines, or if you prefer to do it manually. Comment down below if you want to see me somehow do this manually. Since FSX is kind of limited, it might be a bit challenging. I might be able to do it in X-Plane 11 on like a Zebo mod 737 or just their basic 737. And that would be probably slightly easier since there's not a lot of buttons and stuff that can actually function in FSX. It's one of their limited functions. So yeah, I'm pushing back now, and I got the engines basically started. We should be good to taxi. We'll taxi to like runway 27 via Bravo 1, and that's probably normally what ground would give us at San Diego, and then they'd hand us off to tower, and I'll show you when they would do that. But as you can see, the tow truck's coming back. I got the brakes set and the engines are almost started, so I'm gonna begin our taxi. Now, when taxiing, you don't want to stay above 20 knots. That's like basically the ground rule. 20 knots is basically where you want to be when taxiing. So when taxiing, we're going to use like 30% in 1, and that's what we should use for taxiing. It'll get us around 20 knots in the CRJ 700. So there's a little fire truck over there to the left, but up ahead is Bravo. That's what we're going to turn right onto runway 27, and I'm going to cut ahead just so that we're holding short runway 27. Alright, so now we're holding short runway 27. I got the brake set, and we would assume that tower would give us clearance for takeoff runway 27, and then we would climb via the SID and do all that stuff to get up to Seaward and then Seal Beach transition. So I'm gonna line up and wait or just take off. So you wanna get lined up, and then you're gonna set power to 40% in 1. That's what you're gonna wanna do. For takeoff, it helps the turbojet engines get spooled up and ready for takeoff, because if you don't, then you might not have sufficient room for takeoff. So now that I have it stabilized at 40%, I hit toga button, or you can also just go to full throttle, and that also helps. Yeah. And so you would normally like call out 80 knots, V1, V2, but I can see it right now, and that's normally what the first officer would do, or the co-pilot. But yeah, we're good. So 200 knots is the speed restriction, and we're gonna climb maintain 11,000. So look at that, we got rotated. We're airborne now, and I'm gonna pull up the gear in the flaps. And now we're on our climbing phase of the flight. And yeah, I'll just, so now we would go right on the CWAR departure. You can look at it yourself, but that's the departure I'm flying right now. And so I'm going to turn right, and I'm going to start climbing up to 1,000. So I'll cut ahead once I'm at cruise. So now we're cruising at 1,000 feet, and we're doing pretty good. We got the speed. I can go past 200 knots since we're out of the class Bravo airspace. So, yeah, you can basically fly all the way up to Mach 1, and that's the speed restriction past 10,000 feet. So, yeah, I'm going direct seaward currently, and I have Seal Beach in here. As you can see, we just got to 60 miles, close. So, yeah, that's when a VOR comes in range. So, yeah, I'm gonna just cut ahead now until I am flying direct Seal Beach, and I'll continue flying the rest of this departure procedure. So there's two ways I could fly to Seal Beach. I could enter SLI, which is the identifier for Seal Beach, and that would get me on a course. Or I can fly it by putting in the code, nav frequency into my nav 1, and then I would hit the nav button on my autopilot. So as you can see, I want to select the VOR one. And I don't know why the flaps are going up and down. But yeah, so I'm just showing you how to do it in the GPS. If you wanted to fly direct to Seal Beach or any other VOR, you would just put in the code, and then it'll give you like the course you want to fly, like the direct course. As you can see, you can like select VOR or one of the others. So, okay, well, yeah. So that's the one to Seal Beach. That's the right Seal Beach we're looking for. So yeah, or you could also hit the nav button over here. And then we're going to fly that on a course of 322, which I'll put in the flight director. And that's the course we want to fly on the departure procedure, and that's then direct Seal Beach. So I'll cut ahead until we're at the next part of overflying Seal Beach. So now we're over Seal Beach. We're 2 miles, and as you can see, we just entered the coast of California from over the ocean. And there's that little airport over there to the left. I think it's John Wayne, which is in Orange County. So I'm gonna flip over, as you can see, over to the LAX ILS, and I'm gonna turn right a little bit in a second, and that'll help us intercept the course or the ILS for runway 25 left into LAX. And I already have that all programmed since the frequency is 109 or decimal niner and then I put that in my nav 1, and then I turn it to active, and that'll help me fly the ILS. It'll get it all lined up, and yeah, as you can see that right there on the GPS, those yellow lines is the ILS vectors, and so I'm gonna fly on that and then get lined up for the ILS. And I'm gonna descend down to 7,000. I'm not sure if I'm at 7,000 right now or not, but that's what we would do as soon as we get cleared over. You'd be at or below 8,000 feet for the approach into LAX runway 25 left with the Seal Beach transition. So yeah, it's the LAX is through the clouds to the left right now, but as you can see, this little needle will intercept it, and that's when we'll make the course. So I'm just gonna wait a little bit until I'm gonna make a turn to the left to intercept runway 25 left's ILS. So yeah, we're just getting a little bit closer. But I'm gonna wait until I'm like basically on top of it and then make a turn to like 251 or 250, and that's like what the course I'd want it to intercept. And as you can see, the little needle on my what's it called? Well, my visual display. It's just coming closer and closer to the center, and I'm intercepting it. As you can see, it's probably gonna be right in the center now. So I'm going to begin to make my turn to the left now to 251. And once I'm established on 251, I'm also going to descend down to 5,000. And so since I'm basically established, I'll hit the approach button as soon as I'm flying 251. Yeah, so I'm just turning to intercept that runway, and I'm doing pretty good. The CRJ is making the turn nicely, and so yeah, this should be a smooth landing. There's a like downtown LA over there, and just like the LA center, city. There's that John Wayne Airport again, I think. And yeah, so it's pretty cool. Airport should come in sight soon. I think it's up ahead. I gotta zoom out here. But yeah, the airport's like right in front of us. We're pretty much lined up. I'm gonna keep turning left little bit since we're not fully intercepted with the course. And yeah, LAX is right there, as you can see. So yeah, I downloaded some freeware scenery from Flyaway Simulation. They have like free scenery, free add-ons for FSX and like X-Plane. A lot of free stuff on there. It's pretty good. Yeah, so I just got some LAX scenery from them just to make it look a little bit more accurate since they'd made some changes since FSX was put out in like the 2000s, early 2000s. So yeah, we're getting lined up for runway 27 or 25 left. I'm gonna hit the approach button and that'll get us lined up, and it'll actually flight itself, which is pretty nice. Yeah, so I'm also gonna keep descending. 25 left doesn't have the altitude, or at least not in FSX. So I'm just gonna put it down to like minimums, and that's the altitude it'll descend to. I'm a little bit high right now, but yeah, we should be good. And yeah, oh, there's that needle, it just went back across. But the approach button does it pretty well. There's a little airport over there to the left, which also has an ILS. And yeah. But LAX is right there, and you can see how it has like all the buildings and stuff. It's crazy how many like buildings are in LA. And yeah, the needle's coming to the center now. So you can see the approach button does it nicely, like I said. And yeah, I'm just gonna go down to minimums, which is like 200 feet AGL. And that's just like our minimum safe altitude to fly at for like on an approach. If we were below it and we still didn't see the runway, like it was cloudy or foggy, then we'd go missed approach. And I'm leveling off here at 1,900. I'm gonna drop the gear in the flaps. Just gonna level off here for a little bit, but I'm gonna keep going down to minimums 200 feet. And yeah, I made sure my altimeter was set before landing so that I would be good. I'm gonna disengage the autopilot since I'm a little high and drop the flaps a little bit more. I'm gonna also arm the speed brakes, and yeah, we're pretty much set for landing. Like flaps are at 35 degrees now, I think, and the gear is down. Now the CRJ 700, since it's a turbojet, it is equipped with reverse thrust, so that's nice. I can use that to slow down. But I'm gonna remember to not go past 60 knots when reverse thrust, because that'll damage the engine, and it's also bad for the noise.
Pull up. Pull up.
Yeah, the pull up. The computer's yelling at me. But yeah, we're gonna definitely land a little bit late. I don't know why I'm so high on this approach, but at least, oh, I'm drifting right here. I'm gonna use some trim right here to get to the left. Rudder trim and aileron trim helps here, but especially the rudder trim. And look at that, we just buttered our landing into LAX on runway 25 left. Smooth as can be. And so reverse thrust. Speed brakes are up, and I'm going to pull up the flaps to put more weight on the wheel to help us slow down faster. And so there we go. We're still rolling pretty fast, but we got this. And then we'll just taxi to a gate on like a taxiway to the right, and since we're on 25 left. Yeah, I'm going to use the brakes here and stop the reverse thrust and pull up this, or technically down the speed brakes. But pushing forward on the lever, and just exit the runway here. ATC would switch us off over to ground, and they'd say taxi to the gate via whatever taxiways we're on. I'm not quite sure what I'm looking at right now, but crossing runway 25 right, and then just taxi to the gate really. And so here we go. Looks like this is Bravo right here, which I'll turn right on. And then there's the gates just like right in front of us, to the right a little bit, but to our left now, since we turned right. And so, yeah, we're down. Thanks for watching if you got this far. Remember to like and subscribe, and comment down below which airplane and which route I should use for my next video on this, and I'll choose a different plane. Just comment down below what you want me to do next for a video like this, and I'll try and make it around 20 minutes to a half hour. So thanks for watching, and see ya.